Digital content should be free. The Journal's been ignoring this long before I got there, but we've certainly stepped it up. And I wanted to review a bit why we think this. One is this sort of consistency of brand and who we are and what we do. We launched in 1889. We were charging then. We were running ads then. A lot's happened, of course, in the meantime. But keeping the model the same, focusing on where revenue is coming from in the business has been pretty consistent. And again, I inherited a great situation, and we still sort of follow those early tenets. Differentiation has been great in this commoditized news world. While I'm encouraging many more sites and many more content providers to charge for content, certainly since '97, it's been great to say we have one of the few. We have a place where over 1 million people are paying us on a monthly basis. It's helped set us aside or set us apart in many ways. And by the way, we weren't doing that because we were scarce. I mean, the Journal is a great brand. It has a great history. But since '97, Yahoo Finance, Forbes, Fortune, Businessweek, every single major competitor that we have has been free the entire time. All right, as we've been growing Circ, as we've been growing sales and audience, anybody you would consider our competitor has been free. So again, when you're considering going paid, well, everybody else is free, so I'm just committing suicide if I do it. Again, you may or may not be the Journal or you have other brands, but there's something going on there that I think can work for other publishers, not just us. The Journal audience, great demos, high education, high income level. Part of this brand that's evolved over the years is very conducive to paying. You want to be a Journal subscriber, and that is played out in mobile and online from print. And part of actually literally charging reinforces that. It actually it gives people value that is perceived very strongly. This was talked about a lot last night. Dave talked about it. Dave Moore, multiple revenue streams, business model, right? Diversification. And again, this is kind of a long list. All of these work in our case. I'm not saying it's not a path to success, but there are a lot of reasons why charging, I think, does pay off. Ad sales support. I know we get higher CPMs. I know we have a more engaged audience. And that builds off at least a portion of our content being paid. Franchise support, this again is I think, the true secret. If you charge in one place and you're free in many others, it's tough to put together a business model where you're feeding other products, where you're bundling. So across the board, we've stayed consistent with the Journal. And then something the Journal and Dow Jones has that other companies don't, some do, we make a lot of money licensing content. Factiva, Dow Jones Newswires, they sell in the B2B space a lot of content that also is appearing on the Journal. So again, it's being sold in that market. It doesn't even really make much sense for us to be giving it away in a consumer market. So again, it's having kind of a holistic view of what your products are, what your different audiences are, and for us, it's just never made sense to treat them differently. Certainly, we price it differently, and we market it differently, and we package it differently, but there's still this core concept that it's very valuable, it's premium content, and that each audience should pay for it. Quickly, you know, I think the tide is changing. This study is out this month from Nielsen. You know, I love these questions. Do you want to pay for content? Well, of course, everybody's going to say no, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. But I think the attitude now, there's so much public discourse going on about certain content, value of content, free and paid. I think now that the atmosphere, the environment is more conducive to at least having this conversation with your customers and your users. It's certainly helped us. There's definitely a feeling that there are things out there that you really should be paying for, even though they're on the web. Again, a worldwide study, it's just out. eMarketer did another recent study. I love it. Just like, do you want to pay for content? Most people say no. Do you like ads? Most people say no. Well, we didn't all stop running ads either. So, you know, you can listen to polls like this and surveys, and you can certainly learn from it. But part of it is who you are and what you want to offer these customers. And they don't want to pay for your content if they have a choice, and they don't really want to see ads for the most part if they have a choice. But that's part of what you provide as part of your experience, as part of the products that you're putting together. This is what I talked about briefly, and I wanted to sort of take you quickly through our history. In almost every case, There you go, 2 cents, July 8th, 1889. You could get the journal. I don't think you should subscribe. I'm sure it was handed to you by somebody running around Wall Street. Zigzag, many years later, the site launches in '96. About a year and a half of growing a bit of an audience and experimenting. It goes paid in '97. Barron's launches free about the same time. It's bundled in with the journal in '97. We spun it out in 2006 as its own paid site. In both cases, these were pretty rigorous pay models when they went out. In the journal's case, we had some small business content and some jobs content. We actually spun out sites that were free sites. The journal was kept so pure that Opinion Journal, Real Estate Journal, Career Journal were spun out as free sites, not to sort of murk the waters up. And that has evolved. Now everything is back on the journal, but it's more of it's a hybrid model that I'll show you in a second. And then the pace just picks up, right? We started bundling print and online in 2006. We went up on Kindle in 2007, looking for other platforms, looking for other audiences and price points. Sort of the big moment post-News Corp, we had the unbelievable luck to launch on the eve of the crash, September 15th, 2008. And after spending a lot of time publicly and within the halls of News Corp and Dow Jones debating this model of ours, the hybrid model really was proven effective, but we were challenged. All right, but you need to grow the scale. You need to make the site much bigger in addition to driving subscriptions. In the last 3 years, the journal itself is up over 240% in, I know it's an old-fashioned term, but in visitors. We're up 240%. Ad sales is up over 50%. Circulation, subscribers to the site is up over 25%. All those figures include 2009. And that was the task. The pay model seems to make sense, but can you grow it? Can you create scale? And that's what the hybrid model does. That's what having it where you're driving both free and paid content in an environment that you're playing off each other, that was the growth we were looking for.